Hello, everyone, and good evening. I want to welcome you to another edition of Family Talk. My name is Islamia Ayaba Kadejo, your usual host. Today, I have a very important guest. Last week, he wanted to come on board, but he's a man of many parts. And when you understand that, we have to buckle up to make sure we get him to bring him on the show. But good news, a very beautiful one, our very good brother, Mayegun Olusola Badero, popularly known as Mayegun. Mayegun General. I love to call him Mayegun Worldwide. He will be joining us on Family Talk today. And we are going to be talking about Family Talk. We have a COVID-19 series. We are looking at different issues and that COVID-19 affects and the way they are being affected. So today, in relation to COVID-19 now, we are going to be looking at security of lives in Nigeria in particular, but we are going to be touching on effect on the economy worldwide. And it has a very, very funny yet factual position on 5G. And I told him I couldn't but ask you on the show, be ready for it. I will be asking you about that and a lot of things. So we are going to be doing a lot today and asking him a lot of questions. So if you are joining on Facebook, welcome on board. And if you have your friends that are not Facebook people, they can also join on YouTube. And together we are going to be doing this. You know him, and if you don't know him, you are about to meet an amazing person. But if you know him already, you know you will not be disappointed. So we are going to be talking about security of lives. We are going to be talking about government. We're going to talk about youth. We are going to dive into a lot of issues. And you will also have time to ask him questions. So he's already in our green room. And if he is ready, we cannot wait. But before then, this is one podcast that no one should miss, especially we Nigerians and everyone that has been affected one way or the other with COVID-19. And if you ask me, we've all been affected one way or the other. So I want to implore you to invite your friends. Let them know that Mayegun General, Mayegun Worldwide, Mr. Badero himself is on Family Talk this evening. So without wasting much of our time, any minute from now, I am going to bring him on board. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sonnyman White, Daddy Adenole Yusuf, Brother Abdul Hafiz. Thank you so much. Please share this and invite your friends. Hello, my very good brother.
Hajia, how are you?
How are you? Fine, thank you. How are you keeping?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay.
It's good to be with you tonight. I'm sorry that I missed you last week. So it's good to
You
you
are a man of many parts. Everybody wants you. So we understand.
Thank you.
How is your family and everyone? How are you keeping in relation to coronavirus?
You know how it's going now. It's about this lockdown. Then in the UK right now, they are doing everything to ease the lockdown, especially in England. So in Scotland, we are
Okay.
doing that in face. We are still on lockdown in Scotland, but it's still very much the same thing. Like, stay at home if you can, go to work if you can. Go to work if you can't stay at home, and then minimize public gathering and all of that. So it's just the same thing. But it's a different ball game in Nigeria. You know that.
Oh, let's take it from there. But maybe before then, for the people who do not know you and are meeting you for the first time, can you just do a brief introduction of yourself?
Well, I am Mayegun, but I'm better called Sheyi, but it's quite hard. But yeah, it's Mayegun General, Badero Olusola, and I'm based in Glasgow, Scotland. So everything else are more or less
Okay.
like people have different perception of me. I'm just like that guy next door that is just kind of concerned.
A friend
As a
asked
concerned
me,
Nigerian, I call myself a concerned Nigerian. So I'm just no one, just
okay,
Mayegun.
yourself. A friend asked me, is he a politician? Is he an activist? I said, you know what? I will ask him. Are you a politician, activist, or what? Apart from
Well,
just being you.
like I said, I'm just a different person to different people. You know what I mean now. So I don't know what I am to many people. Some have called me an activist. Some have called me a journalist. Some are referring to me
Oh,
as a blogger. But if you look
a
at me very
vlogger.
well, you will know that I'm more or less like you can't really pin me down on any of them because I've not got any of those rules that guide all those respectable organizations and all. I'm just me. You know what I mean now. So it depends on who is watching or what I'm talking about at any particular in time, how it affects you or not, and what you make of it. So I'll let
Okay.
people just decide what they think of Mayegun. But so people who want to know, I'm
Do
just
justice
Mayegun,
to
just
the
me,
Mayegun they meet.
just me.
Okay, let's start from the 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in Nigeria. How practical, how effective, how safe is that?
Hmm. Let's start. One thing is that the way I love to do things is that to let people understand why I think or I say what I say, there should have been some sort of a precedence and all of that, things that happens that we can point out. Why are we here? Why is the lockdown declared in Nigeria became a big thing? And people are more concerned about uh, hunger than coronavirus itself. So it became an issue. But how did they
Exactly.
arrive at that? There has been some time and time failure, things that we never thought were actually really much like important. Over time, people have been so used to adapting to situations in Nigeria that they are compelled to adapt to by their leaders from all spheres. Now, what do I mean by that? Before now, we all know about economic situation in Nigeria. Nigeria is a poor country, not because Nigeria should be a poor country. Nigeria is poor because we have poor leadership. And when you have poor leadership, you will be forced to live within a poor country, even if you think you are great, even if you think you have all the potential. But when you have poor leadership, you will be forced to live in a poor country, and everything that is ascribed to poor country, poor people, will be ascribed to you, no matter how much you live in denial of it. No electricity, no good hospitals. The politicians who are in Nigeria want all of us to always feel like proud Nigerians. You as a person, you are over there in Ireland, right? And
Ireland, yeah.
you are there with this personal conviction that you are a Nigerian, simply because they have
Yeah.
managed over time to make you believe that you owe it to the country, that as a Nigerian, no matter how bad it is, you should learn to adapt
Remain
and
patriotic.
appreciate. So we all accepted that. So our failures, we began denying our failures. We began getting used to it. So coronavirus came. It exposed us. Number one, we don't have reliable data. There is no reliable data to tell you the number of old people in Nigeria. There is no reliable data to tell you that this is the number of the young people in Nigeria. Everything is
Vulnerable
scarce.
people, the children.
So how can you then work out a lockdown if you are doing so in the interest of the people? Meanwhile, Nigeria is a country where people kill what they eat. If you don't go out to kill what you eat, you will go hungry. So if you don't go out a day, you may not survive. So when 75% to 80% of the population kill what they eat, then you can't lock them up without a plan.
Live from
And if you
hand to
don't have
mouth.
a data, you can't plan. Everything else is just assumption. That is why the chaos that is happening after the lockdown is happening. Because people believe,
It's
people are more
happening.
threatened. People are more threatened of COVID hunger than COVID-19.
Hunger than COVID-19 itself.
So if we look at it from where it started, before we go deeper, that's what I'll say about that. Go on.
So are you now saying that the way the armed robbers took on innocent people, especially from March 30, if we remember correctly, are we saying that is justified? Because the system is bad, people they have to go out every day before they can feed their families. And I just realized that unfortunately, the moment the federal government announced that lockdown by end of March, we started hearing series of armed robbery attacks in every nooks and crannies in Nigeria. And we are like, it's been so long we heard about such. What happened?
Thank you very much.
Based on the fault of the government you just highlighted now, is that justifiable?
It's never justifiable. You know what I mean? First thing is, let's identify the problem. You cannot solve a problem without identifying it. And you cannot also solve an identified problem without first admitting it as a problem. Who are the armed robbers? Who are the 1 million boys? They are the regular boys you see on the street. They are the regular boys you see on the street. They are the touts you see in every junction. But you know that, how did they become touts? How did they become so lost? How did that number, that army of people, army of young, capable, agile, able-bodied people became violent and readily available for crime? We should look into that first. Because this guy didn't come from the blues. They didn't just happen overnight. They didn't come because of lockdown. But one thing we have been missing is this. You see those poor people that we all ignore. They have children. You don't know them. You just hear about them. 12.5 million children out of school. You just hear about them. They are just statistics, Abby. But some of them will survive. Some of them will not survive. But those that will survive and grow up to 18, 19 years old, you don't know how they survive. You don't know how many places they slept. You see them on the street all the time. You don't even know where they come from. But they came from somewhere. They existed. But do you know how they are surviving? They are surviving because as many of us go out to kill what we are going to eat a day, they also go out there. They survive through begging, extortion, other crimes, petty thieves, and all of that. Because some of us don't really get affected like this. That's why it didn't make the news. Now, we are all locked down. All of you, whether they pick your pockets, those of you that they snatch your phone, Those of you, they are robbing your car. Those of you, and all of you are now staying at home. You are not going anywhere. They need to survive. They need to come to you. That is why.
Meet you where you are.
You know what I mean? That's why it became an issue. So if you are now asking yourself that, is it now because of lockdown? It's not because of lockdown. It's because of the failure that forced you to stay at home without any plan for you. In the first place, you are battling that. Other people don't have anything to lock them at home. They need to go out there and no matter what, even if they have to come into your house and rob you. Now, it became a survivor. It became a survivor battle now. The politicians, the decision makers, who knew that you cannot build anything on nothing, no matter how much you try. You need to have a foundation. We want to care for 10 million people. Make sure you care for an identified 10 million people. Don't make up numbers. Don't make money from it. You see, when you deny, let me tell you this. When you deny, when they give you an opportunity to build a hospital, and because you have the clout, you have the political coverage, you have the political immunity, and you decided never to complete the project. Meanwhile, the project is meant to cover, let's say, 10,000 people. Now, you deny that 10,000 people that opportunity. That 10,000 people are not going to fall sick in a day. They are not going to die in a day. They are not going to die in a year. It may take them 10 years. It will pile up. In 10 years' time, it won't be 10,000 people anymore. It will be 100,000 people that need that facility you should have built for 10,000 people.
That were denied
10 years ago. Now, what I simply mean is this. When time comes for virus or pandemic like this, we will need the hospital. You kept that money. You became a Father Christmas. You sent people to Mecca. You sent people to Jerusalem. You are building mosques. Money meant for hospital for 10,000 people. Now, if you put it
diverted something else.
If you put it in phases, in 774 local governments in Nigeria, you will realize the calamity waiting to happen. So, we shouldn't just talk about the problem. Let's talk about the people that created the problem. They live with us. They are the VIPs. They are the respectable people. Do they love the country to think of a day where there will be a need for a medical facility? There will be a need to train our own generation, our own population, so that they will understand the difference between a pandemic and something that is not real. Education, information that is so vital. All of these things that we missed, they will catch up with us. And that is why you cannot say it's justified or not justified. We are all victims. If you are not robbing people, they will rob you. You know why? They will need something. An easy target are people like you and me. So politicians who deny all of these things cannot force us, right, to accept that, right, it's not their fault. When we do that, we will continue going back and forth. The people should also think, because politicians will tell you, but you too, you should know what is right. If those who are supposed to do the right thing for the masses are not doing it, and they are pushing it to you individually to do something, how much change can you make? That's why I'm not going to say completely it is justifiable, because that won't make the real point. It's about other things too attached, which this destroyed system will eventually catch up with us. One of them is the increasing crime, because they are still not honest, even in their assumptions, right? They are still busy creating loopholes on how to steal, even in the face of pandemic. That's to tell you that when all of these things have consequences, they always come back. They may not come back in a year, 2 years, 5 years, but they always come back. The children of the children of the poor, that you and I always roll up our car door windows in the AC. I don't want them to peep in. Oh, they may try to steal from my car. You see, the children of those poor people, they exist. They are not from the blues. They need to survive. And they will only survive on the easy targets, me and you. Until when you and I are now affected, we speak up. We drag the politicians to do the right thing. That's when we can begin to say, well, improvement can begin to come. If anybody now goes out of their way, then you can say, you have no reason to do this.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Mayegun, talking about urging the politicians to do the right thing, what I notice is this. Maybe about 5% of us, if up to that, are the people asking government to do the right thing. You see, the people that you are saying that this government, instead of using a particular money I marked for project like hospitals, good road, water system, and all of that, to diverting such money into sending them to Mecca, sending them to Jerusalem, doing parties and all of that. These people, 95% of Nigerians are the people who encourage them to do that. They are the people that will take this money from them.
No, they are not encouraging them. There is a better word for them, Ajia. It is called enabler. They are called enablers.
Enabling them.
They are those who will tell you, they are those who use political correctness to tell you that, one, no be everything person they talk. Two, if now you go do worse. Now, number three, let us, we are all national human. We are all
human.
Number four, let us pray for our leaders.
You
see all this category of people, they are the enablers.
Yeah.
They are the people who encourage politicians to feel like, well, it's not my fault. Maybe it's even the devil that is not letting me walk. You two know now. Maybe you should pray for me. They will say, it's true. You don't know how powerful devil can be. But the devil is
so
not.
Invariably, they kind of get the kind of leader they deserve.
Exactly.
Because they are bad eggs as well.
They are enablers.
Let me tell you something I read today. A guy just all of a sudden, this armed men came. They were not thieves, they were soldiers. They came to his house, they started beating him, packed all his things, accused him of doing this and that. They packed everything he had in the house into a truck, drove him away, beat him mercilessly. All the neighbors, the landlady begged them to no avail. They drove him away. The landlady was like, what could he have done? Why is Nigeria so lawless? You know, nobody could help him. About 3 days after, one of the neighbors now saw his friend. Oh, look, so what happened to him? Fortunately for him, the wife and the children were not home 3 days ago. What could have happened to them? Do you know his whereabouts? Have you reported to the police? It was that his friend that now told the neighbor that, you know what, my friend was owing the landlady 500,000 naira in house rent for about going to 2-3 years. And because of that, because he couldn't pay up, he now gave those so-called soldiers like 50,000 naira to kind of come and do like a drama. All what you saw 3 days ago was just a drama, just to pack his load and move to another place to avoid paying rent. That is the system. You and I live abroad. You know how you will entrust a lot of things in the hands of people, and at the end of the day, they stab you at back because you live abroad. We cannot fly down to do anything for them. What will you do? They buy your number, they don't pick your calls. So these stories like this just make me feel like sometimes the bulk of the blame, maybe it should be 50-50. The leaders, they are the kind of people we deserve until we change our ways.
Let me tell you something. I did a program on Mayegun's Diary. Yeah. I did a program on Mayegun's Diary just, I think, about 2 days ago or thereabout. Not completely sure. And the program was about Nigerians. Nigerians don't... let me use this word so that I don't generalize. Many Nigerians, they don't hate corruption. They don't hate oppression. They don't hate abuse of power and impunity. Many Nigerians don't. And I'll break it down.
Okay.
But they don't like it. And they condemn it only because if they are not the one doing it. Many Nigerians don't hate thieves. Many Nigerians don't hate thieves. Many Nigerians want to meet them. They want to take pictures with them. They want to have contact with them. They want to exchange numbers with them. But they will join you and I if you and I began to say, they are thieves, they are this and that. But the moment they have a bit of a reach close to any of them, then they will tell you, my friend, you don't know what you are talking about. You know why? It's because it's not. I mean, it's because they don't hate crime. They don't hate all of these vices. When a policeman stop you on the road, and he wants to extort you for no reason, he just wanted to extort you, and you decided to stand your ground, Nigerians around you will begin to say, so you know law, Abi? So now only you know law. They will just kill you. They will just waste you. The same police officer that is there,
what you want so that I can let you go.
The police officer that is there is also hearing them. He's also a Nigerian. He knows that if he kills you, the most that will happen is that if he's connected, they will transfer him away. You are gone. You that is killed. Now, with this impression, with this mindset, Nigerians began to choose what they want to tell you is right and what is wrong in their own book. They began cherry picking. If you send money to your friend to build you a property in Nigeria, if that your friend is even too far, let's say your family member, and they spend the money, they mismanage the money, and you begin to talk about it, do you know that Nigerians will tell you that, why do you want to watch the destiny of your family in public? Just to blackmail you to shut up. Did you know that? There are many Nigerians that cannot talk about what they have faced in the hands of their family members, in the hands of their friends, in the hands of trusted people. When it comes to money and so many things, many people have lost their lives due to this. But do you know why many people will never talk about that? It's because of those people involved. And when you begin to talk about it, instead of people to say, this is so wrong, this is terrible, we shouldn't do this, it's unacceptable, they will either tell you you are overreacting or you don't believe in God. They will use every manner of things to blackmail you into submission. So because of this, many people don't speak out. You have been doing so fantastically well. I've been watching you from far. You have been talking about issues that affect families, responsibilities, and so on. These are very big issues that I believe personally you must have received your own private condemnations and public condemnations that you shouldn't be doing that. Because it is a Nigerian thing. They try to blackmail you into accept what is wrong as normal. Do you get that now? So they will use God. They will use religion. They will use people you know. They will use many things to blackmail you into submission so that wrong thing can continue. Why would anybody in his own right senses, you having financial disputes, disagreements, if you feel like you don't know what to do, if you call the police in this country that someone owes you money, except that person violently attacks you, you have no business with police. The next thing police will just do is that if you report it to them, they will make sure that they record it as a case and they will ask you, do you want to press charges? You live here. For an average Nigerian who can afford to buy himself a small car, is living in a, he managed to build himself a small 3-bedroom apartment. He has a small business that fetches him at least gradually, let's say 500,000 naira every month. He is made. He will tell you he's made. At that point, the next level of his life is to have connection to know who is the DPO of his own area, to know who is the area commander of police of his own area, who is the commander of area top in his area, who is the landlord association chairman of the area. He want to insatiate himself into them so that they will know that he is arrived.
You can empower
You
a
cannot
lot over people.
you cannot talk to me anyhow. Do you know who you are talking to? If I call the DPO now, if I call the commissioner,
Do you know
an average Nigerian is looking forward to that, to becoming that in his life. So his goal is to live that life where someone can just bring police and arrest you. He want to be the one to use police to arrest you. So again, my angle of answering your question is widening it more for you to let you know that, listen, people are very much in the culture of oppression. They complain when they are the ones oppressed. But when they are oppressing people, there is nothing wrong with it. Why did you have to say that about that man? You too, you should know your level. Why would you say anything? Meanwhile, that person you spoke about could easily have reported, and the police would ask, do you want to press charges? Do you want to sue this person for that money? When you say yes, they will give you options. Do you want to use the public prosecutor? Do you want to get your own prosecutor? They will give you options. You don't need to give someone 50,000 naira. You don't need to give someone 100,000 naira to go and beat anybody up. But guess what? All those illegality, as funny as it sounds, they actually go to police station and report them. They will report it in their card in police station that you are arrested for sleeping with the wife of chief. You are arrested for not paying the loan you borrow from so and so. You will be registered in police station. So when they settle the problem, when you settle with the person you owe, you are already owing the police too. What kind of life is that? How long do we need to continue to say it's right? Is it when it affects us? Is it when you are affected? Is that when you now say, this country is bad? I am talking about this all day. I talk about it all the time. I get criticized for it. I get abused for it. People say they like what I talk about, but they don't like the way I talk about it. And I said, well, I wish I could do better. Maybe if I was a journalist, maybe I would do better.
But Mayegun, if that is our situation, if that is Nigerians, and you already talk about the government, so what is the solution? The people is bad, the government is worse.
The solution
what is the solution? Where do we go from there?
The solution is this, Ajia. Very easy. Very, very easy. You know, one thing I learned from my own grandfather of blessed memory. Yeah. I was a very stubborn boy when I was growing up. And he said, at that point, right, he was living in Lagos. I was living with my mother and then my great-grandmother in Ijebu. I was the only guy, right? So people believed that I wasn't going to turn out good. I was so stubborn, like that. So every time my grandfather returned, every time he came back for a weekend and all that, they would report me. And I'll get beaten, like punished, stood down, hands up and all of that. I did all of that. Then when I turned 15, one day, as usual, you know, women, when you want to really get someone punished, there is a way you package it. It's like you are going to be killed. You are dead. And that was how it was when I was growing up. Stubborn, but I had disciplined people who were like so strict. Then it got to one day, I was about 15 years old. My grandfather now said, they have just reported you to me again. But you know one thing, I am not going to beat you again. Because I now realize that what is going to beat you is going to beat you. But I will tell you a few things today. And it starts with, you see, he said, close your eyes. I closed my eyes then. I won't forget. Because that was 21 years ago today.
Wow.
He said, close your eyes. I closed. I said, what did you see? I said, I didn't see anything. He said, close it. I said, what did you? Nothing. Nobody. He said, when the world comes crashing, you will never see anybody. Don't let anybody tell you I will be there for you. I will be there for you. Wow. Don't worry. Yeah, you know. So that is why He now said, as you lay your bed, I was a young boy, as you lay your bed, so you lie on it. You
Lie
can
on
blame
it.
the world for your problem. Yeah, you are free. You won't be the only person. Oh, the government is bad. Yeah, the rich people are so stingy. Oh, this and that. But know one thing. When it comes to you and what happened to you, only you decide, or we even tell how painful it is. And if you don't want it to be too painful, you need to get running. Coming back to what is the solution? The solution is, I was reported to my grandfather as a stubborn boy that will never change. And they needed to hold me with so much iron grip and all of that. But when my grandfather told me that my destiny is in my own hands, I have a pen,
Your
I have a
hands.
paper, I can write whatever history I want to leave. Anyone who try to do, there will be, there will be this, there will be that, trying to distract you, but nobody will see all those distractions. It's about you. And it begins from identifying your problem. That's where I'm going. When you identify the problems, which everyone knows, then you admit the problems. Then you begin to change your attitude towards the problems. What is your attitude towards people? What is your attitude towards people who tell you not to beat your wife? You think you can beat her because there's no law that holds you. The culture, the tradition will always protect you, fine. But do you need a culture, a tradition? Do you need a culture or a tradition? Do you need a religion to tell you it is wrong to hit your wife? The moment you begin to question that, you know it's a problem. And then you begin to identify it. After identifying, then you begin to change your attitude towards it. You see, when you change your attitude towards a problem, you will begin to reject it. And once your attitude towards something begins to change, all of a sudden, everything will begin to change.
Everything changes. Yeah.
But when you live in denial, or you want someone to tell you how to do it, nobody can tell you how to do it. It's like a smoker. When you smoke, right? A non-smoker will tell you how beautiful it is not to be a smoker. Oh, guess what? A smoker will also tell you what you are missing from smoking.
Not smoking.
But two of you have same thing. Attitude towards that thing. But you know one thing? Maybe if you begin to have a different attitude towards smoking, you may have an ability to change a smoker by not using your own hope, right? To want to fix the problem. That is what I am doing on Mayegun's diary. And most of the time, I use a manner of, ways, tricks, and all of that to just get everybody to get angry. I want people to get angry. When you get angry, and you realize that I'm not leaving, I'm not going away from your faces, right? Then maybe you begin to start saying, okay, maybe I should begin to change my attitude.
Let's listen to him.
You know,
let's see.
You never can tell.
So let's listen without bias.
No.
Okay, let's come back to COVID-19 now. When the lockdown started and people were asked to stay at home, within few days we got report from NCDC that 12 people died. But before then, there was also a report from a Human Rights Commission that the security forces in Nigeria, the police, they killed 18 people, beating them up, and they died in the process of trying to force them not to get out of their homes. So it's now like, which is more deadlier? Is it the people trying to enforce the law, or COVID-19 itself? That is on one side. And with the armed robbery that we're talking about the other time, the vigilante groups in different areas now are now kind of taking their destiny into their hands, that, you know what, the government will not do anything, we have to help ourselves. And I'm looking at a situation where at the end of the day, the police are taking law into their hands, the vigilante teams are also taking laws into their hands. At the end of the day, the security of lives we are trying to protect is not being protected.
Ajia, again, I would like to take you through what is the core problem first. Not because the police killed. In fact, the figures is sort of a vice versa. It was actually the moment NCDC said 18 people died. Police have already killed 21 people that same period, and it was in April.
That's it. That's a,
Do you get that now? So, but why did we
yeah.
come to why did we come to a situation whereby one, the whole place has become rudderless. The whole place has
Hmm.
become leaderless. The real people that people should be looking up to, they are in hiding. Okay. So everyone
Hmm.
now becomes a law unto himself. Everyone is making the law right now. Some state governors are declaring lockdown to stop the spread of the virus, right? The police, once they hit lockdown, instead of them to help people to maintain lockdown like we have here,
Yeah.
the police began mounting roadblocks.
Take to the streets. Yeah, exactly.
You get that now? They are not out
Yeah.
to maintain the lockdown. They were out mounting roadblock. Nigeria has
To
become
escort people.
Nigeria has become rudderless. Nigeria has
Hmm.
become leaderless. Nigerians are more divided. There is so much distrust. There is so much kind of division. But this is the moment you would expect that Nigeria leaders should catch up on. But there is no Nigeria. There is no Nigeria leaders. Everyone is living a lie. And at some point, everybody
Hmm.
will realize that the smaller the numbers, the better the managerial level we can actually go on to. I am being very honest and factual here because of your
Hmm.
audience who are possibly listening to me for the first time.
Yeah.
You want a country where there is a pandemic, there's so much widespread rumor, even within the government circle.
Hmm.
The politicians are completely dishonest. The figures they are releasing are not reliable. The real
Not
figures
at
we are
all.
getting from out there they are completely different, and people are not being told the truth. And when people distrust the system, there is no way,
Hmm.
there will be no chaos. Chaos will strive,
Hmm.
and people will become law unto themselves. A state governor, a state governor demolished 2 hotels because they violated lockdown. Meanwhile, according to
Oh
the
my
Nigerian
goodness.
quarantine law, it is only the federal. That's part of the fake Nigeria we are talking about. As a
Hmm.
state, you cannot put a measure in place. You cannot raise your own. You cannot extract your own resources to generate resources to develop and build the structure. I mean, sorry, the structures that you need to facilitate the care for your people. You cannot do that. You have to rely on Abuja. So there is a law that says only the president can declare quarantine law in any part of Nigeria. Okay. But on the
Hmm.
request of state governors and with the approval of the federal government, which is, when they say federal government, we are talking about the president, he is the only person granted that right. But in Nigeria today, because there is no real leadership here, many people are now declaring different laws in different places for different reasons that are completely unknown to people, unclear to people. So, in the midst of all that confusion, there are exploiters too, the policemen in their
Mm-hmm.
usual business. What do you expect now? Nigerians are called stubborn, and you will meet a normal Nigerian, an ordinary Nigerian now. He will tell you and say, you know, we Nigerians are normally stubborn. We are naturally stubborn because politicians told you you are stubborn.
Yeah,
Politicians said
they
you are stubborn.
admitted that.
The Nigerians are ungrateful. Then you will see a Nigerian who doesn't have electricity, no reliable health care, no good security, no employment. No, come on.
Water.
That same person will be telling you, you know, we Nigerians are always stubborn. We are always ungrateful. And we should always thank our little God. You know, because politicians said that to them again and again and again. And those who
You've been
disagreed,
brainwashed. Sort of.
exactly, those who disagreed, they were killed or jailed. Do you get that now? So over time, people see it as normal. That is why a policeman, they didn't pay him. He has no life insurance. He doesn't even believe in coronavirus. That same policeman is carrying his gun.
Mm-hmm.
He's waiting for that person that is going to violate lockdown. He doesn't understand lockdown himself. He just believes that you must not go out. And if I see you out, you must pay. So if you now going out, you don't have money, you want to go and feed yourself, you meet a policeman that is coming out to come and look for you, say, oh yeah, pay me or else you are not going anywhere. Who will now come and tell us that this is what it should be every day, the way it should be, without manipulating the figures? Imagine if
Even
Nigerians,
the government doesn't seem to understand the lockdown as well.
they are not, they know what is going on, they are not honest. Coronavirus has exposed the vulnerability of Nigeria. No matter how much you may say you love Nigeria, you will never be better off, except a country like Nigeria is either restructured, which they say is not possible. Restructuring means let everybody try and control our resources in a way that we can help ourselves. Even if you still want to claim Nigeria, fine. But this current one is not working. It's like a begging system where state government go and beg. Do you get that now? When you have a begging system, it's not working. Restructure it in a way that at least you can maintain it in a medium way, regionally. If that is not going to work, break it down so that you can maintain what you have. But when you say no, what do you expect? No leader. Nobody is giving direction. Everybody is law unto himself. A rich man, will put a mopo with gun in the back of his SUV. He will put a pilot, mopo, in front. There is lockdown. There is lockdown on that road. There is a police checkpoint who are trying to stop us from lockdown. The police will see him. They will say, "Hey, Sean, sir. It will pass."
And yet they start beating the poor people.
For you, we won't go get something. Maybe your Okada won't try go get something so that you can feed your wife and children on lockdown. That policeman will say pay 5,000 naira. Then that time you will then begin to realize that this country is actually not for me. Why am I being put through this in this country? Why am I being treated like I'm not supposed to be here? What is going on? Then in a twinkle of an eye, you may find yourself fighting for your life. I mean, imagine you are going out to find something to eat, and before you know it, you're already fighting to stay alive because you can get killed in a moment. How can you say that is normal? How can you say you are okay with that? How can you say, then when you tell people to change it, they say it's impossible. And you say, let us manage it. Let us pray. Pray for what? It's a common sense thing. When you ask for solution, are you also ready to change and change the way you approach this? If you're not changing, this is what you will get. A leaderless country, a rudderless country, a country where people who are in authority have no empathy. You are in this country, my dear sister. You know what empathy means. Even when you disagree with something, even when something goes against your belief, when it goes against your stand, there is something called tolerance. There's something called empathy. You have found yourself. I have seen you with so many organizations who are dealing with people with different problems, domestic issues, and all of that, marriage issues and all. I've seen them from far. Do you know why you are comfortable doing that? Because you have learned through the rope and realized that it doesn't change who you are. No matter what you try to do for people, you are not changed. You don't need to prove it. You don't need to convince anybody. Just do it because you know you can do it. That is what is lacking in the people that controls Nigeria. they think they are doing them favor. And even Nigerians themselves feels like whenever they see any good one who seems to be trying to do something, they are so happy.
Tiny
They are
bit.
so grateful. They are always like, let us
So
pray for
grateful.
him. You know why? Because they feel like they are doing them favor. You will see educated people,
Favor.
well-traveled people, exposed people. I mean, independent people, people who are rich. They don't even have to bow down to all this same ideology. But their kind of approach towards all we have been talking about is the same thing as that poor man you
It's
want us
just
to talk
they're still
about.
there, like
They are rich.
yeah,
They believe they are
yeah.
rich. What makes you think that someone who build a house of 200 million naira in a chanty
Hmm.
place and he buys himself or herself an automobiles of maybe about 200 million as well because they love the new cars, any latest cars in Nigeria, rich people. Then they have to build their own fence to protect all of that so that nobody can come and kill them. They will not be satisfied. The house they build heavy burglaries so that nobody will break them. Mind you,
Attack them.
they still hire people they give guns to protect the gates. Meanwhile, in
To
that same house
protect
they
them.
build, they are their own local
They
government.
are dogs.
They will provide their own electricity. Listen to this, oh, they will provide their own electricity. They will provide their own security. They will provide their own water. They will even provide their own
yeah.
healthcare system. They will tell you, I thank God, my sister, Nigeria is not that bad. We have private doctor, family doctor that check us every time because he's rich, Abby.
And
Then
that's okay.
he will drive that his expensive automobiles, out of his expensive mansion. Then the reality, the real world,
5 million
he will have to
naira house.
he will have to drive through the road that is not there. He will have to drive through the poor people that exist, but they don't exist in his world. And from that moment on, the reality set in. And he will still come and tell you, Nigeria is not that bad. You guys can still make it here. Because to an average rich man in Nigeria, my sister, all they have is money.
Nigeria is not bad.
They don't have anything else. Do you know that what an average rich people in Nigeria have is just money? To them, it's just money. They don't have anything.
Yeah.
It is called poverty of the mind. It is only a poverty of the mind that you will be thinking of building a multi-billion mansion in the midst of abject poverty. And you will feel good. It is absolute nothing else. Poverty of the mind.
Just so people can envy you.
Poverty of the mind.
Thank you so much, Mayegun. Can we go? You have a very funny yet factual view of 5G as because of coronavirus. And when I read your post that day, I laughed. I'm like, oh my God. So can you say that on Family Talk? For the people that believe coronavirus was caused by 5G, I want people to be enlightened on that, please.
Let me say it this way. What I'm about to say now has nothing to do with your religion, your belief. Okay? It's not to challenge you. I'm not talking about you, the host. I'm talking about our viewers. Because you know one thing is this.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory about 5G and coronavirus is so big, is so huge that those who are supposed to know better, they have joined in it. And when you try to say anything else, they will bring religion. They will say you are this, you are. So that's why I have to say that beforehand. I love saying that. Even though I don't care if anybody gets hurt or if you feel bad about what I'm about to say. But remember, I say it's not about your religion. It's not about your belief. It's not about what you believe too.
Yeah.
It's just about probably learning more because we all learn every day anyway. But what I'm going to tell you are things that are out there. And for the sake of our viewers, it is important. We have heard lots of rumors about 5G and coronavirus. We have heard about people laying a cable to install to install 5G everywhere. And at some point, they said 5G is going to be so powerful that it's going to control the world. They are actually misunderstanding the control of the world concept. Okay. And they said 5G will get to a stage that they were going to create a virus. That's why they created coronavirus. So that the cable they are laying, that cable, it carries radiation. You know the radiation that they say we have harmful radiation and unharmful ones,
And it's the
okay?
radiation that is causing the virus.
The one that they said the radiation from the cable is what is causing the virus, and the plan is just to kill a lot of people in the world. Then there's our other religion believers that said it was in fact going to be the end of the world, because at some point they will force us to take the vaccine. They will force you to take injection, and in that injection they will give you a chip. That chip is the only thing they will be using to track you, so that anywhere you go, if you don't have that chip, you cannot get job, you cannot get education. That's how far the conspiracy went. Oh, I'm just going because there are people watching us. There are people that are watching us now that didn't know that I follow the conspiracy too. I did. So I want them to enjoy how much the conspiracy sound, and how sometimes unbelievable. You can just ask yourself that, really? Is it that much? Really? Then we don't want it. That? So like immediately seriously? You can say, you know what? I don't want it. I don't even care. I don't want to see it. As if to say we get choice. We don't get choice. So they said they are going to give us chip when they force us to take a vaccine. All those things are not true. They are just fabrication of those who want to use. You know, there are different people in the world. There are smart people in this world, Ajia, honestly. But people are just smart for different reasons. Do you know that it take a smart man to convince people that he can wake dead people, that he can pray and wake dead people, and people believe it? Do you know that it takes a smart people to do that? Even when you look at it and say, I don't understand how this doesn't make, you know, the mob will attack you. They will say it's because you don't have belief. So do you know that it takes a smart people to convince people like that? It takes a smart person to convince people to say, I just made someone vision live. Someone who has been blind from birth. Someone who has never seen anything in his or her life. And is now 35 years old. They just made him see. Do you know that it takes a smart person to convince a lot of people that actually happened? The person that have never seen anything in his life, and they quickly show him handkerchief, he says it's white. They show him another one, he said it's blue. They show him another one, he said it's red. And he's never seen anything in his life. But do you know it takes a smart person to convince millions of people that is real? By using any tool, any means, for whatever objection.
By any means,
smart people. So people can sit down. There are people who can, there are smart people that can put a fiction in place that
conspiracy.
We call them conspiracy theories. Thank you. But why am I telling you all of that? It's simply because from the time of this technological advancement, we have heard a lot, my sister. And for those who have managed to help themselves, who didn't want to die from so many things internet tells you, especially WhatsApp and Facebook, you don't just want to die overnight. You will decide to read more and research more. There is nothing like coronavirus with 5G. Okay, they have nothing to do together. I'll tell you what is 5G. I'll tell you what is coronavirus. Okay, some people they've created other things. So they said it's bio transferred. They created it from a lab and they whatever. I'm not a scientist, but what I know about it is this.
But they said it's a biological weapon.
They changed it later, but they didn't know that a biological radiation is not transmittable. You can't transmit it as well. However, you can't transmit that from human to human. That's why that logic was defeated. It doesn't make any sense. Even though people try to prove it, but it doesn't make any sense for those who have managed to read further. But however, when you remember that there was a time that we had to use to make calls. Remember? That handheld landlines. Remember? But do you know that before Graham Bell manufactured or invented land phones, after Graham Bell invented land phones, the military in America, they invented this, what became walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkie is just what they are using to communicate from this place to that place. Our landline phones back then, you remember that Nitel will have to come and lay cable. They need to come and put a mast in a town, then begin to lay cable into our houses and all of that.
Yeah.
That's how we began telephone, what do you call it? The telephoning revolution. So many people have they have been here for so little that they forgot that some of us actually keep history anyway. So from that time, when the American military advanced in their technology on this walkie-talkie of a thing during the war, they eventually manufactured what is called satellite responders, satellite transmitters, whereby they can now not just talk on the two device wirelessly. They can actually do that in a further distance by using a code which became mobile phone numbers, identification code today. It's called mobile numbers today. That was the first time wireless phone where people can talk to themselves without running wire, without running cable into their houses. But it was not public. It was meant for the military. It was meant for those who are doing those jobs then. After the Second World War, it became a thing that we are talking about cellular phone. You remember cellular phones? Rich people were those who could use them then. Cellular phones. So cellular phones were a replica of our today's mobile phone. Cellular phone is now today. You remember, see, when cellular phone began, when people began that they could talk to themselves and hear themselves, there were people who ran against it. Do you know that if you read your history, the history, there were people who ran against it, that it's evil. In fact, there were religious groups who ran against it, that is against their religious belief. That for us to be talking to ourselves without seeing ourselves. Go and read it.
Like that?
They said it's against the belief. That is unreligious for you not to see the person you are talking to and just stay there and be talking. It's evil. But when they realized that it was actually useful, then they left it to hand phone. That was the 1G, the first generation phone.
History is now kind of repeating itself now.
Hold on. It was the first time that you and I can then buy a mobile phone, not carrying our landline in the house,
the Nokia,
or go to the Nitel to make call. Now you can now buy a Motorola pointer. You know that Motorola shoot gun pointer?
Yes.
Nokia 3310. Remember Nokia 3310? So those are the first generation. They were called 1G. Is a code name.
1G.
First generation.
Okay.
That was the first time that a telephony technology advanced to the point that you can put it inside your pocket. First time. But before those came to Nigeria, my sister, the rest of the world was already using mobile phone. You know that now. When we were busy using landline, the rest of the world were already using mobile phone everywhere. It was like normal thing.
Yeah.
We should thank Obasanjo. We finally come implement them in the year 2000. And you and I can now see it on a 4G phone and condemn 5G phone as dangerous to me when I have used 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G now, and I'm waiting to use 5G. Currently. Then you said this coronavirus. How does that make any sense? Now, let's talk about what their concerns are. Radiation. Do you remember that there were some times that they told us that if you put a phone in your bra it can cause breast cancer. Do you know that's a
Sure.
lie? Do you know that's a lie?
Yeah.
Do you know that's a lie?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
found out that it's a lie? You found out, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know that
Yeah.
there are people who still believe that if you put it in your bra, it's going to cause cancer, and you can't change their mind? Do you know there are people like that?
Yeah. And even in men pockets too, they said it can also cause whatever cancer for men.
They said
as well.
if you are a man, if you put your phone on your belly all the time and it rings, it can cause low sperm count. Do you know it's a lie?
Low sperm count.
Do you know it's a lie? But do you know that
Yeah.
people believe that it's true, and there's nothing you can tell them that is a lie? Do you know why?
Change their mind, exactly.
It is part of the problem, misinformation. But this time around, Nigerians are not alone in that issue of coronavirus is 5G.
Exactly. Yeah, with
There
5G,
is radiation. In radio, there's something called radio wave and radiation. There are some radiations that are not harmful to humans. Do you know that the emission from your phone, the connection, the Wi-Fi on this phone now, and the emission on it and all of that is coming out, the radiation that is coming out all these hours, if you are to believe what they are telling you about 5G, then that means you and I will die in another few minutes, because we must have inhaled a lot for talking and breathing. Now,
yeah.
Do you know that your computer also emits radiation? That your laptop, that your screen top and everything. That is why if you have eye problem,
you can even hear that. If you keep quiet, you can hear the noise from the radiation from a laptop, from desktop.
Exactly. But do you know that that power line cable, that carried electricity to everywhere in Nigeria, the one that is always doing Nigerians hear that too. Do you know that what that thing is doing is emitting radiation? But do you know why people are not dying? Oh, sorry.
Careful.
I just felt my hand something. Yeah, don't worry. So, do you know why people are not dying? They are not harmful radiation. Now, let me surprise you. Do you know that your microwave can kill you so slowly in 6 months than whatever your phone would ever do to you in 100 years? In 100 years. Ask me how.
How?
You see, when you put your food in the microwave, that your fancy, beautiful, expensive microwave, and you feel like, well, I'm not actually leaving it for long. Let me just give it a 2 minutes warm. Oh, this microwave is so good. And you put your food in, uncovered. As it's rolling and burning and burning and burning, it is slowly emitting radiation that will kill you. Not can kill you. If you do it that way, you will die. Slowly.
Slowly. Oh, God.
So what we are having in 5G is this. Currently, you and I know that I can do anything on my phone now. We are doing this live video. They are watching us all over the world right now. I am not inside your studio. You are the one in your studio. By joining you right now, you are not BBC. You are not CNN. Do you know what made that happen? Because we have a stable 4G network, fastest network that transmits data, billions and trillions of data in a twinkle of an eye. That makes it easier that if I speak, I am sitting in my room in Glasgow. You are sitting in your current studio, probably in your house as well. Yeah, you are not CNN. You didn't mount. You didn't mount masts outside as a studio. You didn't build. You didn't get your own sound engineer to come and mount camera. They say testing. Hello, go on. On your own system, you are comfortably delivering what CNN would deliver. You are comfortably delivering what Channels News cannot even deliver in Nigeria. Do you know what made that happen? 4G network. In Ireland right now, 5G will come. It's already been tried everywhere. Do you know what they are now trying to do? On this my phone, I can make a transaction of 10 million naira sitting down here in my room. I can make a transaction. I can make a transaction of 100,000 pounds from this phone without leaving this house. And I won't have to worry that someone is going to steal it or something is going to happen. Why is that? Technology has changed it from us queuing at banks. Technology has made it better for us to make things easier, faster, and more proficient. So productivity will be better. On my phone, I can control my car. I can lock my door from my phone. That is technology. It is not harmful to me. Excessive use of anything is harmful, even drinking water, Ajia. I won't encourage you to use things, gadgets and everything excessively. Yes. But when people start telling you that what is so vital to you, what is so useful to you, is harmful to you, they need to prove it. They shouldn't bring coronavirus into it. Coronavirus started from Wuhan in China. There's a lot of hidden facts from China to the rest of the world. China owes the rest of the world a lot of explanation. Because if they knew that this was so deadly, and they handled it, there's no point in not telling the rest of the world of how huge it was. So the world will know how massive it is. The world won't have to find out this way, right? Now, from what we have seen so far, coronavirus has no cure. But from the symptoms of those that have been affected, those who survived, his little way of killing is faster and quicker, so is recovery too. Let us not leave that out. If they say the world is going to end, let us tell them that, listen, guys, listen. Coronavirus is reigning, but people are dying, by the way. And then let us not attach this to anything. Let's treat it as a pandemic that it is. A health pandemic. Don't bring religion to it. Don't attach it to what your Bible told you. Don't make God a liar. Don't attach what is going on with what your Quran told you. Don't leave all those things. They will still happen. Leave them. Don't attach them to this. When you begin to do that, you are already mocking God. Then when people tell you to shut up, don't say they are trying to shut up God. No, you are already mocking God. Don't bring it together. It's an health concern that concerns everybody. And we should be approached as same. So now, the coronavirus, people who have been affected by coronavirus worldwide, the total number has been over 4 million. But guess what? The total numbers of people who have recovered from coronavirus worldwide right now. Let me start with those who have died. From the 4 million reported cases of coronavirus in the world, my dear sister, only so far, we have seen less than 300,000 people dead. Does that not tell you that over 3.7 million people survived? How can you then say that's the end of the world? How can you then say that's one thing they want to use to kill all of us? How does that justify it? From every indication, from every point, it showed that 98% of those who contracted coronavirus survived it. You know the funniest part of it. You know the funniest part of it. You and I can be carrier, and we won't even know. We will carry it.
I was going to say that you can even contract it without knowing it. You just nice and you don't even know you've had it.
How can you then? Another thing, before I finally ask this question, do you know that UK, even in America, even in China, all over the world right now, what the rest of the world are doing right now for 5G is that they are test running it. They want to bring the whole world into this mobile. You and I have not much say to it. We can choose not to touch them. I still have people who don't have smartphones. They don't want to use them. I have people as educated as they are. They will never use their bank card online. They personally will tell you, I just don't want people to spy on me. But if they say coronavirus will come with a vaccine, my sister, people are already surviving coronavirus without using any vaccine. There is no cure for coronavirus right now. So does that mean that those who survived, Does that mean that those who survived, they put a chip on them to track them? Do they put chip on them to track them? Now, you know the funniest thing, You know the funniest thing? You and I, willingly, we submit our information for them to spy on us. We are now pretending that we are smart, we are educated, we are religious, we are this, we are that. We need to be careful. Meanwhile, you use your money. You pay for a SIM card. Listen, you pay for a SIM card. They gave you a number. You personally bought a number. You say, that's my mobile number, call me. What do you think you are doing? Then on that SIM card, you added all your details. Home address, phone number, your mail, age, date of birth, and all of that. Then when they talk about 5G and coronavirus, you say they are coming to try and take all of us. They are trying to come and capture all of us. They are going to try and kill. You are not serious. How can you be using a 4G phone to criticize a 5G improvement that will always happen? There's going to be 5G. There's going to be 6G. There's going to be 7G. There's going to be 10G. The world is going to go crazy.
When it will end.
It's going to go crazy.
Well, those who I hope people are noting down their names so that in many years to come, we can actually show their grandchildren that see your grandfather, that this is position when the 5G came. So that's I hope all those comments on social media, we just screenshot them and keep them somewhere for their great grandchildren. Thank you so much, Mayegun. You've always been amazing and wonderful. Let me see if you can take few. And I've been seeing some position here. I just want to check your stand on some of those positions, especially I want to bring one in. Let me see. Someone is saying, how can we restructure Nigeria when there's no structure? Okay, there are so many comments here. Okay, one of them, if I can bring it up, is that before anything can work in Nigeria, whatever it is, Nigeria needs, we just need to go our separate ways. What is your stand on that? I think that's an important one we need to address.
Absolutely. Listen, see, my sister, just for the sake of those who are listening to me, we have a bit of a problem as a people. And I'm going to try to use as a people because I'm on a very neutral platform today. I have a way of describing different kind of people. We know ourselves. And I don't live in that denial. I don't live in that. I don't live in that world that I keep. I'll be telling myself that it's not that bad. It's not that bad. When we know that it's very bad, very, very bad. Until Nigeria break up. Are you with me? Until everyone agrees that we should either, or let me say, until we primarily agree that this current one is not working. For 60 years, Ajia, for 60 years, you and I are, you see, we were born into this, we were born into this Nigeria. We grew up hearing our parents talk about how hard, how this, how that, this country, they have not paid the salary, so they've not paid us our dad. We grew up into all of that. You became a mother yourself.
Exactly, and we are still there.
You have become a mother. Your children, before you know it, you will be grandma. You will realize that. So we didn't even have long time. So why am I lying to myself that this is not working? See, if Nigeria was to work, personally, from personal experience yourself, you lived with your parents. You can tell what they went through. If Nigeria was to be best, at least you are religious. At least you are someone that we can say, oh, I want to be like her. Do you get what I'm saying now? Now, you tell me, did your own parent or their own parents, did they not do enough to make Nigeria better? Did they not do their best? Are you not doing your own best now? Because they say do your best, do your best. Do your best on what? On what you don't know. Something is not working. For 60 years, we have been pumping petrol, crude oil. Come on. They say corruption is the problem. Okay, let us stop corruption. Every government that comes in will tell you it's going to stop it. That next one will say it's going to stop it. But when it's going to leave, it's going to be worse than the one it came to condemn.
Than the one
You get that
before.
now? So then some people will now say it's not that bad. At least he did that. Then we all look around and say, man, look at this country. It means that, number one, the people in charge, they are so incompetent that Nigerians are rewarding their incompetence every now and then by giving excuses for them. Now, to make it easier for these people too, let's help them. Let's help them. If you listen to them, they will say Nigeria is complex. Nigeria is too big to manage. Nigeria is too tough. Nigerians are too stubborn. It's not easy. They will be fighting. Now, let's make it easier for them. Let's just break it into pieces. So that, you see, so that you won't have to worry about whole Nigeria anymore. You can only just worry about your own people. If you don't do well, we can easily carry Keke Okada and come to the government house, pursue you, send another person there. If that one not do well, we can easily carry Okada, Keke and everything. Go there. But how can we carry Keke and Okada go Abuja? Before we reach Kogi, they will kill all of us. The rest of us will stay inside Black Maria. Some of us, they will never see us again. Because you can hide in Abuja. Let us break it down. It is in the favor of everyone. Okay. Don't see anybody asking to break down Nigeria as enemy, okay? It is easier when you have a limited place and you too, you have limited people to deal with you and you deal with. If they don't do well, they will have no place to run to. If your leader fail in the north, if they want to run to southwest or southern region, they will need visa. They will need to come and claim political asylum before we can allow them to come. And if we are fighting our own thieves, if we are fighting our own thieves in Yoruba land, for instance, do you think we are going to welcome another thief running away from his own people? It's not going to happen. So don't see people saying this as enemies.
Because we have our own issues to deal
with.
with.
We need to save lives. We need to save lives. We need to save lives. We need to utilize what we have now that we have them to help our people. You cannot do it in a bigger country like Nigeria. It is. The politicians are so friendly. You cannot divide them. You know that in Nigeria today, it is only you, me, that we need to identify ourselves as a Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. The politicians don't see themselves as that.
When it comes
to sharing the money, they don't care.
I tell you.
So how long do you think you and I should be denying or living in denial? It is not an harmful thing to do. The country you are living in today, you are able to get in there. Think about the rigorous effect. The rigorous step you have to take if Ireland is still under UK. Imagine it. Imagine what it takes to get a UK entrance. And meanwhile, you just want to go to Ireland. You are not interested in London. You don't want to go to. So same thing can happen in Nigeria. There are people who just want to come and do business in Yoruba land. They don't want to live there. There are people who just want to go to Igbo land and just transact. There are ways we can put all of these things in place. And we will help our people. We will grow. There will be security. People can manage what they have. Those who want to go into education, they can use their own money, go into education. Those who want to build a new economy, they can use it. So you won't have to worry about the whole Nigeria. How is that bad, my sister? How is that bad?
Not so bad. I will be posting some comments. Your fans. One person is saying that Rukaya is saying you speak with passion, that you are always passionate when you talk, and she loves that about you. Why I'm putting that up, I just want you to say your final word before I let you go on the show today.
Thank you very much, Ajia, for giving me this opportunity. I'm glad that we are doing a lot. My final word is this. If we look deeper as a people, we know we have problems. We have been hearing all of these things so much. They say it's about talk, 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 no action. The reason why it's about talk, 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 no action is simple. It is because many of us are not genuinely admitting that there is a problem, because we are cherry picking. Nigerians are cherry picking what they want to call problems and what is not problem. So they want to make it look like a problem is bad when they say it's bad. It's not that bad when they think it's not that bad. Do you get that now? So when we stop cherry picking, when we all begin to admit that, you see that bad behavior of those politicians, you validate for them today. There is always a consequence. There are consequences, my sister. When they refuse to build what they plan to build, when they refused to fulfill what they promised to build, there are consequences. Children that are supposed to be in school, if we don't put them in schools and we use the money for schools to build mansions, to marry more wives, to build and get new chieftaincy titles, to send people to Mecca, to send people to Jerusalem, to send people to go and pray for a peaceful country, when you are denying the generation that are supposed to be educated to know what is wrong from what is right, those who are supposed to be passionate about the country, they no longer have that passion. They are now passionate about survival. When you deny them, and some of you who sort of back them up, who sort of enable them, all of you who sort of cover them up, one thing I will leave you with is this. You see, all those problems will not go away. There are consequences. Unfortunately, you and me are the easy target. That's why I'm shouting. Maybe I will have my face on many pages so more, so that when the kidnappers, the frustrated abandoned children in Nigeria, when they see me in Nigeria in my jalopy car, and I look a little bit fresher and different, and they decided to kidnap me, maybe when they come closer, they will say, I remember this guy, he's Mayegun. He has no money. He's a poor guy. He's always shouting on social media. Let's release him. Maybe this is my own way of buying my own immunity. Do you have to wait till you become a victim? Do you have to wait till when we use your own story to enlighten others about how bad things are before you begin to change your attitude into supporting them? Is it when your story become a national and international headlines? Oh, a Nigerian that returned from so place got killed by a stray bullet from police. Or a Nigerian who suffered an asthmatic attack died when he returned from UK. When they're on holiday from UK, simply because there is no medical facility to take care of him. Do you want your story to be like that before you will agree with us that there is a problem? And no matter how much you love them, please let us drop that attitude of my thief is better than your own thief, because that's who we are. We cherry pick. You hear them, my friend? All of us now thief.
A thief is a thief.
They will say all of us now thief. I'm still grateful. See, that my own thief sent people to Mecca. That my own thief, he bought us transformer. That my own thief. Do you know how many hospitals? Do you know how many? Meanwhile, when you are sick, you can't go to those hospitals.
How many transformers he bought for my community?
From this transformer he bought for you, you can't have regular electricity because there is none. When you stop saying my own thief is better than your own thief,
better than your own thief,
it means we are beginning to identify the problem. Then at that point, we will begin to talk about the solution. Because you know why? That's the moment it will make sense. When you give anybody solution, it will make sense, because they have identified that this is so wrong. I have been so wrong all my life. I shouldn't have been thinking like this. So you mean if I support Buhari,
changing the mentality?
Exactly. If I support these politicians and then kidnapping or insecurity increases and I become a victim, I'm actually doing myself.
Oh, my family, my loved one, my friends.
So if I tell you next time not to support them, do you know that would be a very simple solution? No story, no nothing. I will just say, Ajia, now that you know that there is a problem, now that you know that every time you give them support,
let's work on
now that you know that
together.
You know what I mean? Now that you don't want to do that anymore, can we now change them? Do you know how easy it's going to be? How easy you agree with me that Mayegun, let's do it. That's what I'm all about.
That's
Thank you so
good.
much for having me tonight. It's a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much, Mayegun Worldwide. It's been
Thank you
an
very much.
amazing, educating, eye-opening, always like that, having you on the show, watching you, listening to you, reading you, and all of that. Thank you so much. And may
It's a
God
pleasure.
continue to keep you for us. I know someday you will be up there and we can say, okay, at last, finally,
Well,
because
let's
we
always see.
actually
Let
need
us always
people
define that.
like
Hajia,
you.
Hajia, let us always define that. You know, Nigerians, we always have perception. People ask me, why do you do what you do? I enjoy doing what I'm
Yeah,
doing. I don't want to be anybody's leader. I don't want to be anybody's
yeah,
representative, but I am ready. I am always ready. That's why I'm creating platform that give us opportunity to
yeah.
interact, to converse, to know what's our differences. I am not interested because I'm not a serious person that way. So, which means I don't want to be in a situation where you make me too serious. Politicians are meant to be so serious. I love doing this.
But,
So let's give it that. So it won't be that up there. Up there you are talking about is a perception that many have, and I don't think I'm so much fascinated
but
about it, in all honesty.
there is green something. What is green again?
What's
There
that?
is green party.
I
There is
have
the green
left
party.
political party. It was that Green Party was an experiment to seal my understanding of people. So that when I talk to you about
Seriously.
Nigerians, yeah, so that when I tell you about Nigerians, I am not making it up. I was there. We spent money. You know about Green Party now. It was an
I know
experiment.
about green party.
And I'm
I know
so happy
about
about
the
the
day of
experience.
election that the people that are supposed to be the representative of Green Party at the dying minute were now asking you, do
It's a
you want
story
to
for
pay or
another day.
not? I'm going with that party. Like when we win them like 5 minutes time
Listen,
at the
it's a
height
story
of
for another day. It's a
story
story for
for
another day. Don't let us overstretch it, right?
another.
But I did that.
Thank you so much,
So
Mayegun,
that
for joining us
I
today.
did that. I did that simply because today, when I'm telling you about Nigerian politicians, when I'm telling you about Nigerians,
You
when
know
I'm telling you
where
about
you're
their
coming
attitude,
from.
when I'm telling you about all of this, I
The
am saying them
system,
from
the
experience.
structure.
I
Yeah.
didn't make them up.
Do you not
Thank
make
you
it
very
up?
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show. Thank you
It's a
so much. Good
pleasure.
night. Look
And you
after
too. Bye
your
bye.
family.
Cheers,
And
everyone. Thank you.
bye now. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on Family Talk. And I hope today we've been able to learn. I won't say a thing or two. We've been able to learn a lot on COVID, on politics in Nigeria, 5G, and who we are, the government, the problem, the solution, and those are a lot of things we need to ponder on, although we are all entitled to our own opinion. But at the same time, when we listen to intelligent discussions like this, they tend to help us look at things from different perspective. And when we are able to bring other people's perspective into our own angle of looking at things, at the end of the day, it makes it better. Thank you so much for joining us on Family Talk. And I hope when next we are coming on the show to look at another issue, the way COVID-19 is affecting it or how it is affected by COVID-19. I hope you will all join us to do that together again. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Good night, and thank you so much.